in a very, very broad sense, the like issues to do with women and girls and getting an education are things that have always been really important to me. For the obvious reasons, I think we should all be caring about it, frankly. But also, you know, thinking about like women in my family, and even like my mom wanting to study music when she was younger and she wasn't allowed to. And I've had cousins who are still in India and family members who wanted to pursue educations and weren't allowed to. So there is a personal element to it, as well as just the obvious, of course, all girls should be given an education and given those opportunities. So one of the volunteer projects I did, this was a few years ago, there's a group. They've recently changed their name, which is why I'm hesitating. They used to be called the Bangladesh Girls Surf Club. Then it became the Bangladesh Girls and Boys Surf Club. And I think just in the last couple of months, they've actually been adopted under a larger umbrella group as well. But this was a group I got to know about through some volunteering I was doing here locally in Southern California. And, you know, it's this fascinating story about this group of girls in Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh, which is one of the poorest parts of Bangladesh, which is already obviously such a poverty-stricken country. And this group of young girls, basically, they saw a lifeguard surfing on the beach one day, and they asked him to teach them how to surf. And what I loved about their story, and what I loved about kind of volunteering with the group afterwards, was that they built what started as just teaching the girls to surf, turned into a school for the girls, so that they were, you know, given an education. And many of them had until that point never gone to school. Often the girls in that community are married away at like 11 or 12 years old to much older men. The club, because of donations, because of fundraising, because they were able to give food bags and aid to the families, kind of then enabled also the girls who were not married away that early. They actually had kind of bought them literally the years to be able to go to school and be able to learn and be able to graduate. So kind of, you know, as a group I was volunteering with on and off for a couple of years, mostly through our work here in Southern California. But, you know, their stories really stuck with me. And I got to know the founders of the club. So I had a couple of, you know, Skype calls on tiny screens with the girls and getting to hear their stories through the language barrier. And, you know, I think that's led to a couple of things. One is just in a very broad sense, wanting to push in every way possible for girls to have a voice. That's girls as composers. That's girls to have an education. Like in any way that we can talk about that and make that possible, I think I want to be doing that. More kind of, I suppose, more specifically to your answer about how that's inspired my work as well, outside of speaking about it, and outside of kind of trying to fundraise for it. We also did a musical project, I want to say last year, for the Prototype Festival. That was also a digital short about that same story, about the girls and about their experience and about, you know, fighting to be able to make choices and get an education.